Rasheeda just shattered the entire reality TV world, and no one saw it coming. In a jaw-dropping move that's sending shockwaves through every corner of social media, Rasheeda has officially filed a massive lawsuit against the very empire that made her a household name, love, and hip-hop. Sources close to the situation claim Rasheeda is accusing producers of orchestrating a brutal setup, a scripted betrayal so ruthless it left her personal life in shambles and her career hanging by a thread. "They used me. They destroyed everything I built," Rasheeda allegedly screamed in leaked audio that's now exploding across fan pages and gossip blogs. And here's the kicker. Insiders whisper that the producers have been scrambling behind the scenes, trying desperately to cover up the truth before it completely destroys their brand forever. But it's too late. Rasheeda has receipts and she's ready to burn it all down. Stick around because what's about to unfold next will change reality TV forever. And trust me, this story is way messier than you think. You won't believe who else Rasheeda just dragged into the lawsuit. For years, Rasheeda was seen as the unshakable queen of love and hip-hop, the woman who rose from controversy after controversy without ever losing her crown. From her rocky marriage to Kirk Frost to the endless betrayals and public humiliations she endured on camera, Rasheeda became the face of survival. Fans admired her strength. They believed she was in control. But behind the glamorous image, insiders now claim Rasheeda was living a nightmare carefully scripted by the very producers she once trusted. And now, she's finally ready to expose it all. It didn't happen overnight. For seasons, whispers circulated about manipulation behind the scenes. Cast members were allegedly pitted against each other, private conversations were twisted into public scandals, and certain storylines were allegedly forced onto stars whether they agreed or not. Rasheeda, once the network's golden girl, was no exception. Leaked documents hint that producers deliberately orchestrated moments meant to shatter her image, portraying her as weak, desperate, and broken, all for ratings. Behind the cameras, the damage was real. Rasheeda's marriage with Kirk, already strained by real-life betrayals, became a battlefield fueled by manufactured drama. Every time she fought to repair her family, another bombshell would conveniently explode, right on cue, leaving her scrambling to pick up the pieces while the cameras rolled and millions watched her bleed. Insiders now allege that the infamous cheating scandals, the secret baby rumors, even the violent confrontations with fellow castmates were pushed and exaggerated by the production team, knowing full well it would rip her personal life apart. It all boiled over during what was supposed to be a private cast retreat earlier this year. According to leaked texts between cast members, Rasheeda was promised a peaceful break to work on her marriage with Kirk off-camera. Instead, hidden cameras captured explosive arguments, unexpected guests were flown in to confront her, and deeply personal secrets were allegedly leaked to other cast members without her knowledge. The betrayal was deeper than anyone could have imagined. When Rasheeda found out that even her closest friends on the show had been fed lies about her by the production crew, something inside her snapped. Sources claim she stormed off the set, refusing to film another scene, and immediately began contacting lawyers. A now viral audio clip allegedly captures Rasheeda screaming into her phone, threatening to take everyone down if they didn't back off. And it didn't stop there. Rasheeda's business ventures, once a proud testament to her resilience, started crumbling under the weight of the show's portrayal. Fans who once admired her strength now questioned her integrity. Deals were allegedly pulled. Partnerships fell apart. Fake cheating rumors crafted for storyline purposes bled into real life, haunting her brand and reputation beyond the small screen. One insider source described Rasheeda's lawsuit as a ticking time bomb, claiming it names not just the producers, but several fellow cast members who allegedly conspired against her for screen time and bonuses. Names that nobody expected. Alliances that fans thought were unbreakable are now being shattered right before everyone's eyes. The network, once quick to parade Rasheeda as their success story, is allegedly panicking. Executives are being accused of ignoring Rasheeda's pleas for protection when she first raised concerns about being targeted. Instead of helping her, they allegedly pushed harder, weaponizing her vulnerability for higher ratings. Now with the lawsuit officially filed and public, the floodgates are open. Rasheeda's complaint reportedly includes a treasure trove of evidence, emails, text messages, contracts, allegedly proving how her life was systematically dismantled piece by piece for the sake of entertainment. She claims emotional distress, reputational damage, financial losses, and breach of trust on a scale the reality TV world has never seen before. Fans who once begged Rasheeda to leave the show are now rallying behind her in outrage, flooding social media with the hashtag Justice for Rasheeda. Former cast members are starting to break their silence, hinting that they too were victims of manipulation. But if you think Rasheeda is stopping there, you are dead wrong. According to an alleged insider close to Rasheeda's legal team, the lawsuit might only be the beginning. Rumors are swirling that Rasheeda is preparing to release a tell-all memoir, exposing the darkest secrets of love and hip-hop. Secrets so explosive, they could destroy not just reputations, but careers, networks, and even entire franchises. The betrayal Rasheeda endured wasn't just about good TV. It was a personal, devastating attack disguised as entertainment. And now, Rasheeda is done playing by their rules. She's rewriting the story on her own terms. But just when it seemed like Rasheeda had regained control, the situation took another devastating turn. New information surfaced, a betrayal so deep it sent shockwaves through her already shattered world. Someone Rasheeda trusted most may have been working against her the entire time. The next twist will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about loyalty, friendship, and survival. The betrayal Rasheeda uncovered was not just a careless mistake or a minor misunderstanding. It was a full-blown ambush, planned meticulously behind her back and executed with brutal precision. The real bombshell. Someone from Rasheeda's own inner circle, someone she had trusted with her deepest fears and biggest dreams, was allegedly in on it. According to multiple insider leaks, it all came to a head during what was supposed to be an off-camera mediation between Rasheeda and Kirk. After endless seasons of drama, the producers promised them a chance to heal, a private setting to mend their broken marriage. What Rasheeda didn't know was that hidden cameras were planted all over the location. Every whispered word, every tearful confession, every private breakdown was secretly captured, without her consent. But it gets worse. Leaked documents now suggest that Kirk himself may have been pressured into cooperating with producers. Under the guise of repairing their marriage, Kirk allegedly agreed to stage certain conversations, feed specific lines, and allow deeply personal issues to be exposed for maximum shock value. Sources claim he was promised extra bonuses, guaranteed appearances, and a producer credit if he played along. The betrayal was almost too much for Rasheeda to process. Fans had watched her fight tooth and nail to keep her family together, enduring public humiliation time and time again. Now it seemed that even her own husband had become a pawn in a vicious game she never agreed to play. Social media exploded the moment the alleged betrayal leaked. Fans were torn. Some defended Rasheeda fiercely, calling her the ultimate survivor. Others turned on Kirk instantly, labeling him a sellout who sold his wife out for a paycheck. #Rasheeda deserved better began trending within hours, sparking massive debates across every major platform. But the emotional fallout for Rasheeda was only just beginning. Insiders say she confronted Kirk immediately after discovering the hidden footage. Sources describe the confrontation as nuclear. Rasheeda allegedly screamed so loudly that security had to intervene. In a now viral voice note supposedly leaked by a crew member, Rasheeda can be heard sobbing uncontrollably, shouting, "You betrayed me. You betrayed everything we fought for." And just when it seemed things couldn't get any worse, a second betrayal emerged. Producers allegedly reached out to Rasheeda's longtime friend and fellow castmate, offering her a secret deal. In exchange for spilling Rasheeda's confidential conversations and manufacturing additional drama, she would be promised a starring role in upcoming seasons and her own spin-off. The friend, once seen publicly standing beside Rasheeda during her darkest moments, allegedly didn't even hesitate. Behind Rasheeda's back, she began feeding producers private details, even going as far as twisting Rasheeda's real-life struggles into grotesque storylines meant to paint her as unstable, paranoid, and broken beyond repair. Insider sources claim that Rasheeda found out about this secondary betrayal through an anonymous email sent by a guilt-ridden production assistant. The email allegedly detailed every setup, every manipulated conversation, every planted rumor designed to isolate her from the rest of the cast. Devastated but determined, Rasheeda immediately expanded her lawsuit. She wasn't just going after the producers anymore. She was coming for everyone involved, cast members, executives, and even marketing teams that allegedly used her private pain to promote episodes. The lawsuit documents describe a chilling pattern of entrapment and exploitation. Rasheeda claims she was coerced into humiliating confrontations under the threat of contract violations. If she refused to play along, she risked fines, being written off the show, or worse, being painted in the media as a diva or a difficult talent, destroying her chances of working elsewhere. A particularly disturbing allegation included in the complaint states that Rasheeda was encouraged to reveal sensitive family secrets on camera with the promise of portraying her as a hero, only to have those moments twisted and edited to paint her as selfish and manipulative. But Rasheeda wasn't the only one. Other unnamed cast members allegedly approached her after news of the lawsuit broke, sharing their own horror stories of deception and manipulation. Rasheeda reportedly now has a growing list of witnesses willing to testify on her behalf, a list that includes current and former love and hip-hop stars who are ready to risk it all to expose the truth. Meanwhile, the producers are allegedly in full panic mode. Lawyers are scrambling, NDAs are being thrown around like confetti, and executives are desperately trying to prevent a mass exodus of cast members. Social media caught fire yet again when fans uncovered old footage showing suspiciously staged-looking moments between Rasheeda and other cast members. Scenes that once seemed authentic now reeked of scripting and manipulation. Fan pages began dissecting episodes frame by frame, highlighting inconsistencies, fake reactions, and clear producer interventions. But the biggest shock came when Rasheeda's lawyer allegedly revealed that hidden in the mountain of evidence was a secret recording, an off-the-record conversation between two top executives laughing about how easy it was to push Rasheeda to her breaking point. The executives allegedly mocked her trust, her loyalty to the network, and even joked about how many more times they could make her cry for ratings. If proven true, this recording could destroy the show's credibility overnight. Fans, celebrities, and news outlets are now watching every move Rasheeda makes. Every cryptic Instagram story she posts, every public appearance she cancels, every word she says or doesn't say is analyzed for clues about what's coming next. And make no mistake, Rasheeda isn't backing down. Sources close to her claim she's preparing a public statement that will send shockwaves through not just reality TV, but the entire entertainment industry. She allegedly plans to name names, reveal exact methods producers use to manipulate cast members, and expose the financial exploitation that's been hiding in plain sight for years. But Rasheeda's enemies aren't sitting quietly either. Rumors are swirling that the network is preparing a brutal counterattack, digging into Rasheeda's past, trying to find anything at all, that could discredit her and paint her as a liar. Private investigators have allegedly been hired. Old cast members are being approached for dirt. The battle lines are drawn. The war has begun, and no one is safe. Yet, even with all the chaos unfolding in the public eye, Rasheeda is reportedly holding back the biggest bombshell of all. Something so devastating, so explosive, it could not only end love and hip-hop as we know it, but also expose a dark underbelly of the entire reality TV industry. The only question now is, when will she drop it? The storm Rasheeda unleashed was only the beginning. As her lawsuit gained momentum behind the scenes, a second explosive wave of betrayal erupted publicly, one that no one including Rasheeda herself saw coming. Within days of the lawsuit filing, multiple anonymous accounts appeared on social media claiming to have insider knowledge about love and hip-hop's darkest secrets. These accounts began leaking screenshots, voice notes, and confidential contracts, all allegedly showing years of manipulation, emotional sabotage, and financial exploitation targeting multiple cast members. But the most shocking revelation wasn't about another cast member. It was about Rasheeda herself. One leak claimed that years ago, when Rasheeda first signed onto Love and Hip Hop, she had unknowingly agreed to a hidden clause buried deep inside her contract. A clause that allegedly gave producers full permission to manufacture drama using her private life by any means necessary. Even worse, it allegedly gave them the right to edit footage in a way that could permanently alter her public image without facing legal consequences. According to legal experts who reviewed the leaked documents, Rasheeda may have unknowingly signed away her ability to protect herself the moment she joined the show. The network had allegedly planned for years to make her the centerpiece of the franchise's most devastating storylines, no matter the personal cost. Fans erupted in outrage when this revelation hit social media. Hashtags like #FreeRasheeda and #RealityTVExposed began trending. Thousands of furious viewers flooded the show's official pages, demanding answers, accountability, and justice. Memes flooded Instagram, painting Rasheeda as a warrior battling an evil machine. But amid the growing public sympathy, Rasheeda remained silent, intensifying the suspense and speculation. And then came the next shockwave. A bombshell leak surfaced showing a private text conversation between two love and hip-hop producers casually discussing ways to trigger Rasheeda into emotional breakdowns during filming. In the text, they joked about staging fake cheating rumors to provoke fights, staging accidental run-ins with Kirk's alleged mistresses, and pushing castmates to confront Rasheeda with new information designed to humiliate her. The public reaction was volcanic. Fans realized what they had watched for years wasn't reality. It was premeditated emotional warfare disguised as entertainment. Comment sections across YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok exploded. Influencers and commentators who once criticized Rasheeda now rushed to defend her, calling the situation disgusting and unforgivable. As the controversy escalated, former love and hip-hop stars began speaking out. In a viral Instagram, Liv, a former cast member, tearfully admitted they too had been coerced, manipulated, and betrayed behind the scenes. They described filming as psychological torture, revealing that producers allegedly used threats, blackmail, and financial incentives to pit castmates against each other, destroying real friendships and families for ratings. Meanwhile, Rasheeda's legal team wasn't sitting idle. Sources say they began compiling an even bigger case, not just against Love and hip-hop, but against the entire network and affiliated production companies. Allegedly, Rasheeda's lawyers uncovered a systemic pattern of exploiting vulnerable talent, particularly women of color, dangling promises of fame and fortune while secretly trapping them in contracts designed to strip them of control over their own narratives. In a leaked email exchange between Rasheeda's team and network executives, a chilling phrase stood out: "We own their stories now." The phrase spread like wildfire across Twitter, triggering mass outrage and calls for boycotts of the network's shows. Petitions demanding justice for Rasheeda and a full investigation into reality TV practices began gaining tens of thousands of signatures within hours. But just when it seemed like Rasheeda's enemies couldn't stoop any lower, another betrayal detonated the internet. A former producer anonymously leaked footage from an unaired episode showing a staged scene where Kirk is confronted by a woman claiming to have had an affair with him. In the clip, Kirk appears visibly confused and unprepared. The woman then admits off-camera that the entire encounter was scripted, fed to her by producers, and that she was paid a bonus for following through with the scene. The footage destroyed any remaining defense the network had left. It confirmed what Rasheeda's fans had suspected for years. The pain they watched unfold wasn't just real, it was manufactured cruelty designed for entertainment value. Celebrities began weighing in on the scandal. Reality TV veterans condemned the manipulation, while activists called for sweeping changes across the industry to protect future stars from similar exploitation. News outlets that once thrived on covering Rasheeda's scandals now scrambled to distance themselves from the network, fearing backlash from outraged fans. Yet through it all, Rasheeda stayed mostly silent, carefully calculating her next move. Sources close to her claim she is preparing a bombshell televised interview, one where she plans to lay everything bare with undisputed proof of the betrayal she suffered. And if rumors are true, Rasheeda isn't doing it alone. Whispers suggest she has secretly partnered with other high-profile reality TV stars burned by the system, planning to launch a massive class action lawsuit that could dismantle the entire production model Love and hip-hop and similar shows rely on. The network's executives are allegedly in a full-blown panic. Emergency meetings leaked internal memos, desperate attempts to convince Rasheeda to settle quietly. All signs point to one thing: they are terrified. Because Rasheeda holds the match, and the whole empire is soaked in gasoline. But Rasheeda isn't rushing. She's letting the tension build, letting the outrage fester, letting the public's hunger for the full truth grow stronger with every passing day. Every cryptic Instagram post, every subtle tweet, every public sighting adds fuel to the fire. And somewhere in the shadows, Rasheeda is preparing the final strike, a move so devastating it could not only end Love and hip-hop forever, but expose an entire industry built on lies, manipulation, and exploitation. The question is not if she will strike. The question is when. And when she does, it will be a reckoning like reality TV has never seen before. The moment Rasheeda's story hit the mainstream, the reaction was immediate and explosive. Across social media, fans who had once been casual viewers turned into raging activists demanding justice for Rasheeda and every reality star who had suffered in silence. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok all flooded with posts calling out the network for exploiting its stars and fabricating trauma for profit. Every hour, the outrage grew louder, heavier, more uncontrollable. Celebrities began weighing in one after another. Reality TV stars from other franchises came forward sharing their own horror stories. Former contestants from popular shows revealed that they too had been manipulated, gaslighted, and broken down for the sake of ratings. What started as support for Rasheeda quickly morphed into a full-scale movement against the entire reality TV industry. Major entertainment blogs and gossip sites that once fed on Rasheeda's pain now scrambled to issue sympathetic think pieces. They painted her not as a scandal magnet, but as a victim of an industry that thrived on betrayal. Even mainstream news outlets began covering the lawsuit, hinting at a coming wave of lawsuits that could topple the empire of unscripted television altogether. Behind closed doors, panic spread like wildfire across the industry. Executives held emergency meetings, law firms were put on retainer, and crisis PR teams were deployed to spin narratives before the damage became irreversible. But no matter how many statements they issued, no matter how many carefully crafted apologies they posted, the public wasn't buying it. Footage that once painted Rasheeda as messy now looked predatory. Scenes that once entertained viewers now felt sickening. Fans openly discussed boycotting Love and Hip Hop and anything associated with the network. Influencers with millions of followers announced they would no longer support shows that exploited vulnerable talent. Every new leak, every new insider revelation poured gasoline on the fire. Secret contracts surfaced showing restrictive clauses that silenced cast members long after filming wrapped. Behind-the-scenes clips revealed producers laughing at the emotional breakdowns they had orchestrated. Viewers realized that for years they hadn't been watching reality. They had been watching cruelty disguised as entertainment. The domino effect was swift and brutal. Advertisers began quietly pulling their sponsorships. At least 2 major brands reportedly suspended their partnerships, with Love and Hip Hop citing the explosive lawsuit and public backlash as the reason. Without sponsorship money, the show's future grew even shakier. Meanwhile, a massive fan-led campaign pushed for Netflix, Hulu, and other streaming giants to remove reality shows accused of manipulating their stars. Hashtags like #CancelLoveandHipHop and #RealityTVReform dominated trending charts for days. Public figures outside of entertainment began to weigh in. Mental health advocates called for better protections for reality TV participants, citing the devastating emotional toll Rasheeda and others had allegedly suffered. Politicians hinted at the need for legislative changes, forcing networks to treat reality stars with the same protections offered to traditional actors. But it wasn't just the fans or the industry turning against the network. Some of the very stars they helped create began biting the hand that fed them. A shocking Instagram Live showed a former Love and Hip Hop star breaking down in tears, describing how producers allegedly fed her false information about Rasheeda to provoke fights. She admitted she had been manipulated into betraying Rasheeda on national television and now lived with the guilt of having helped destroy her friend's reputation. Her confession went viral, racking up millions of views in just a few hours. The network's attempts to push back were clumsy and desperate. They released a vague statement claiming Love and Hip Hop had always been about empowerment and real-life struggles. But the damage was irreversible. Fans immediately pointed out the hypocrisy, reminding everyone how Rasheeda's deepest wounds were turned into season finales, how her heartbreaks were teased in trailers, how her breakdowns were edited into memeable clips for laughs. Every move the network made backfired. Every attempt to paint Rasheeda as dramatic or opportunistic only made the public rally around her harder. And Rasheeda herself remained mostly silent, fueling the suspense. With every day she didn't speak, with every cryptic post or strategic, like she tightened her grip on the narrative. The public waited breathlessly for her to drop the final bombshell, to deliver the strike that everyone knew was coming but no one could predict. Sources close to the situation claimed Rasheeda had received offers from multiple major networks ready to give her a platform to tell her story. Netflix, Hulu, even Amazon allegedly reached out, offering millions for exclusive rights to her interview or documentary. Rasheeda was now in full control, a queen on the chessboard, preparing for the ultimate checkmate. Yet behind the scenes, the tension escalated even further. Former producers allegedly banded together, preparing to sue the network themselves, claiming they had been forced to carry out orders they now regretted. Rumors swirled that the second, even larger lawsuit was quietly forming, one that could expose not just Love and Hip Hop, but dozens of reality shows built on the same predatory practices. And while the public waited, while the hashtags trended, while the outrage grew, Rasheeda was planning something bigger than anyone imagined. Because while everyone thought the worst secrets had already come out, the truth was the most devastating betrayal had not even been revealed yet. Something darker, more personal, more explosive was hiding just beneath the surface, waiting for the perfect moment to be unleashed. The question on everyone's mind wasn't whether the end was coming. It was how much more destruction Rasheeda was willing to unleash before she finally put the last nail in the coffin. Just when it seemed like every secret had been dragged into the light, when it felt like there was nothing left that could shock the world, Rasheeda detonated the final bomb. Late one night, without warning, she posted a cryptic message on her Instagram story, 3 chilling words that immediately sent the internet into a frenzy. They filmed everything. Within minutes, fans flooded her page demanding answers. What did she mean filmed? What was there even more footage the public hadn't seen? Sources close to Rasheeda began whispering about a secret archive of unaired footage so damaging it was allegedly locked away deep inside the network's vaults, never meant to see the light of day. Footage that could not only ruin careers but expose crimes buried beneath layers of contracts, money, and fear. Allegedly, during her final season, Rasheeda's home was secretly bugged by production at the insistence of desperate executives scrambling for more drama. Conversations she had inside her private bedroom, raw emotional breakdowns between her and her children, confidential business discussions, all allegedly captured without her knowledge. According to leaked reports, Rasheeda's legal team had obtained access to parts of this footage, and what they found was worse than anyone imagined. Footage of Rasheeda begging production to stop pushing false cheating rumors and breaking down after scenes were staged behind her back. Footage of producers coaching cast members on exactly what to say to destroy her. Footage of executives joking about how far they could push her before she snapped. But it didn't end with Rasheeda. The alleged footage also showed other cast members being coerced, threatened, and manipulated, breaking down in tears as producers dangled bonuses and fame in exchange for betrayals. One heartbreaking clip allegedly showed a young cast member confessing that producers pressured her into fabricating a pregnancy scandal just to secure a storyline. This was bigger than Rasheeda. This was systemic. This was wrought at the core of an empire. And Rasheeda knew it. Sources say she sat on this evidence, carefully calculating her next move, while the network desperately tried to bury her under legal threats and PR spin. Every leaked story, every vague network apology, only tightened the noose around their necks. Rasheeda was waiting for the perfect moment to unleash the final strike, the moment when the public outrage was hottest, the moment when the network was most vulnerable. Insiders now claim Rasheeda plans to hold a live press conference backed by her legal team, emotional survivors of reality TV manipulation, and possibly even celebrities who once stayed silent but are now ready to speak. It will not be a simple lawsuit anymore. It will be a full-scale public reckoning, one that could trigger congressional hearings, demands for industry-wide reform, and mass cancellations of reality TV shows built on human suffering. The network knows it. Executives have allegedly gone completely silent, refusing to speak to media, refusing to acknowledge questions, terrified of what Rasheeda is about to reveal. Because this isn't just about reality TV anymore. It's about trust, about betrayal, about an entire system built on the broken lives of people who thought they were chasing dreams but were actually walking into traps. And Rasheeda holds the keys to that prison. The only question now is how hard she's going to slam the door shut. Fans hold their breath waiting for her next move. Influencers prepare emergency live streams. Lawyers sharpen their knives. The empire is crumbling. The stage is set. And Rasheeda is about to take the final shot. But just before the world thinks it's seen everything, Rasheeda drops one last cryptic clue, a single line posted at midnight across all her social media accounts. The real story hasn't even started yet. If you thought this was the end, think again. Everything you've just heard barely scratches the surface of what's really going on behind the scenes. Rasheeda's next move could burn down an entire empire and expose secrets that were never meant to see the light of day. But what do you think? Is Rasheeda brave for standing up to the system that tried to destroy her, or do you think there are even darker forces pulling the strings behind the cameras? We need to hear your voice. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Whose side are you really on, and what do you think the industry should do now that the truth is finally exploding into public view? Hit that like button if you believe Rasheeda deserves justice. Smash that subscribe button if you're ready for every shocking update, because trust me, this story is far from over. More leaked footage, more betrayals, more hidden truths are coming. Every day, the walls are closing in on the people who thought they could control the narrative forever, but they were wrong. The next chapter is going to be even darker, even messier, and even more unstoppable, and you're not going to want to miss a second of it. Stay tuned, because the real story is just beginning.